Breaking news, everybody. Myles Garrett has been traded to the Los Angeles Rams. I'm not kidding you. I'm not joking, folks. It is time to break down everything. We just got updated compensation as well, so we'll report that to you guys. But this is absolutely, utterly unbelievable. Myles Garrett is going to be wearing a Rams jersey next year, folks. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. All right, let's get everybody's one-word reaction in the chat right now. Let's get one-word reaction, okay? Welcome into everybody tuning into the Browns Report presented by Prize Picks. Let me know the first word that came to your mind when you saw this blockbuster go down. Type it in the comments section. One-word reaction to Myles getting traded. Let me know in the comments section, and let's read some of these out loud here. Everybody's one-word reactions. Kyle says trash. Michael says pissed. Joseph says it's dumb. D-Man said impossible. Skyotic Thoughts says disgusted. Sub-Zero Gamer. Where does Sub-Zero Gamer's word go? I see Dark Rider says bad. Yazoo says it's BS. Damn. My goodness, folks. Daily Double says typical. Type your one-word reaction to this trade, folks. The first thing, get creative, that came to your mind here. One-word reaction to Myles Garrett being traded. How is this possible today? Mikey says, why? Anthony said, this is bad. Phil says, man, this is a good trade. All right, we got one person positive about it. Jamal says it's dumb. Billy says shocking. Dumb out. Oh, my, look at all the words here. Everybody spam that one-word reaction. I've got people disappointed. Owen 17 says TC Browns Nation. Mike Dibble says need to see the draft compensation. Need to see the updated draft compensation. Yeah, I agree. Because there are more picks coming. Okay? What has been reported originally was Jared Verse and a first-round pick in 2027. Okay? There's going to be more draft picks coming to Cleveland. No, it's not just that. Now, I would have liked at least 2 first. Absolutely, Phil. Jared Verse is a dang good player. He's young. He was a Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2024. Had 7.5 sacks last year. You thought he was untouchable, okay? That is definitely no joke to get Jared Verse back in the deal. But there better be more draft picks coming, and there are. We're hearing from Daryl Reuter that it'll be the 2027 first and LA's 2028 second and 2029 third as part of the framework for the blockbuster. All right, again, I wanted a 2028 first. I think Myles is 2 first and Verse worth, but Jared Verse is just that good, and it seems like the Browns are not getting a second first. That's kind of crazy. Eric says this one hurt. This one hurts. This was painful. I'm going to be watching Myles Garrett highlights tonight. Okay, I'm going to go back and watch all of them at home in my bed and just kind of debrief tonight. But that's why I want everybody's one-word reaction to this breaking news. We feel this news together, Browns fans. I mean, this is the channel to get together. And, hey, if you haven't already, tap that like button as 300 people are in the building with us. So is this the updated comp, Ethan? All right, this is what we're hearing now is the updated trade compensation for Myles Garrett. If you haven't heard beyond the first-round pick already, this is just coming in. Let's take a look here. We're seeing Jared Verse and a 2027 first, then the Rams 2028 second, the Rams 2029 third in exchange for Myles Garrett. Obviously, it's a blockbuster. Jared Verse, I think we are undervaluing in the moment how good of a player he is, how good of an addition he will be at 25 years old, because we're talking about the best player in the NFL here in Myles Garrett. Shout out to Play-by-Play with the Super Chat going on, everybody. Feel free to share. If you want your thoughts on the screen, send a Super Chat, and we will shout you out and put your question on the screen. But personally, I know he'll figure. That's how I feel. We only got 1 first for Myles. I mean, I was expecting Jared Verse and 2 first-round picks. Maybe I'm biased because we know how good Myles is because we watched him for his entire career. So maybe I'm biased in that sense, wanting another first-round pick. But this appears to be the reported compensation at the moment. It's Verse in a first, plus the Rams second in the 2029 third. I don't know, guys. Unless this is the play to trade up in 2027 to get your franchise quarterback, that must be what the Browns are thinking here. Shout out Play-by-Play with Noah for the $2 super chat. Barry just said nothing is final. Maybe a pullout. Pause. Barry said nothing is finalized, but they are hoping to get it finalized by the end of the day. So what it is, Play-by-Play with Noah, and I appreciate your $2 super chat. Thank you to Aaron, just sent one in as well. What it is, what Andrew Barry is saying, they're trying to figure out the rest of the comp. The deal's going down. The Rams have been ridiculously persistent about pursuing Myles Garrett. Shout out Rigbone for the super chat as well. Like I said, we'll get you guys on the screen if you send any super chat amount, and shout out your thoughts as well. This is what this show is all about, okay? We're all feeling this together. I am absolutely shocked. Absolutely shocked we got this notification today on June 1st. Also shows we were lied to by Andrew Barry. Noah? They said they're not trading Myles no matter what. And what did they do? Ship him off to L.A. And I bet you Myles, because he had a no-trade clause, right? He had to approve the destination. I bet you this is something he wanted. To go to L.A., a contending team. And it just makes me sad that we came to this point with Myles. Aaron with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Aaron Collins. Says the Browns are going to be going for a youth revolution. This makes a ton of sense. Cleveland fans love to react emotionally, but that's not the way. Shout out Aaron for giving us a new perspective here. As James says we are cooked with the dead rose emoji. Immediately, it is easy to react emotionally, and I did. I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken that Myles will not be in a Browns uniform next year, and it's going to take me a minute to get over. George knows what I'm saying. Shout out George for the $10 super chat. If you go back to Aaron, too, but shout out Rigbone for the $2 super chat. And Aaron, what I was trying to say was, logically, if Cleveland doesn't think they're competing next year, yes, it makes sense to trade Myles for the haul right now. All right? And Jared Verse, again, I think we're underrating how good of an ad Jared Verse is. Why are we underrating it? Because you're losing Myles Garrett in the process, the best player in the entire league. But you get a 2027 first. Cleveland now has 2 in that draft class, which will be loaded. And obviously, you'll get a 2028 second and 2029 third. So I was really expecting multiple firsts for Myles. One is crazy, but, Verse was a first-round pick and a defensive rookie of the year in 2024. So that's the haul. And I think the Rams are auto Super Bowl favorites here, folks, okay? So, shout out to everybody sending in their super chats. Did Jack respond? He said, okay, yeah. Shout out to everybody sending in their super chats. We got so much more to break down right now, folks, and I'm going to get all your thoughts and opinions on the screen. We do also want to give a shout out to Prize Picks, who makes these live streams possible for us. It's an app that I can't get enough of. I love it. I play it every day. Prize Picks is just so much fun, and you can win cash while you watch sports. Playoff basketball's here, big golf tournaments, baseball's underway if you're old school and that's your thing. But what you can do is select 2 to 6 player stats on stats like points, rebounds, assists, three-pointers. So it's so much fun. It is so easy to use the app, and that's all you got to do. Pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stats. Game 1. I've got more on Jalen Brunson's free throw attempts. Also going to go more on Karl Anthony Towns' three-pointers attempted. And finally, Stephon Castle has been working for me so well on Prize Picks. So I'm going to go more on Castle's points, more than 16.5. That is a $10 lineup. The payout is $60. Game 1 coming up Wednesday night. New user offer. If you download the Prize Picks app today and use code HMA, when you play your first $5 lineup, you'll receive an extra $50 in lineups. Use code HMA. That is code HMA. When you play your first $5 lineup, get an extra $50 in lineups with Prize Picks. Clickable link to download the app is in the comments and description. Let's get back to it. Like I said, shout out my guy Aaron. Also had super chat coming from Rigbone with the 2. This is a gut punch. AB better have a big slip. Yo, if we're bad next year, oh, okay, officially official from Ian Rapoport. The trade is now agreed to and official. The Browns are trading Myles Garrett to the Rams for Jared Verse, a 2027 first, 2028 second, 2029 third. Adam Schefter, Ian Rapoport have it. This is the biggest trade of the offseason. Wow. George with a $10 super chat says, that's it. I'm getting drunk in the yard today. You know, George, I think I might just need to join you. I mean, I'm in shock. Yeah, that was quick. AB said they're still finalizing it. They're not being honest with us, guys. They're trying to, originally, they tell us we're not trading Myles no matter what. I told you guys the very first time that came out. That's what you tell insiders. That's what you tell Adam Schefter because you don't want it known Myles is on the table. And it's not like he was. What we are also hearing is the Rams were aggressively pursuing him, aggressively going after. They would not let up, okay? Shout out my guy Simon loves Cleveland as well with a $2 super chat. This is the biggest effing joke I have ever seen. And this is how most Browns fans are feeling right now. This is not supposed to be the win now move, trading the best player in the league. But Andrew Berry liked the haul he was offered. Jared Verse is a phenomenal player, extra first and 27 and multiple picks after that. I don't think it's enough still for Myles. I think you should have got multiple first. I think it's a joke that's even a question. Should have been Verse in the 2 first. Rams wouldn't budge on that. But clearly the Browns were willing to trade Myles despite what they told us. Rose with a $10 super chat. Shout out to Rose, who's ready to celebrate being fleeced. That's what we're doing today, Rose. Just a Girl says, it was a joke, Joey. It was a joke. I can't believe it. Shout out, Rose, for the $10 super chat. Appreciate you so much, Rose. Like I said, we'll get all super chats on the screen. So if you guys have opinions you want on the show here, we got 500 people watching live with us right now. It is unbelievable what is happening. Shout out, Rose, again for the super chat. But look, Jared Verse player, 7.5 sacks last year, 6'4", 260. I mean, he's an absolute beast. Okay, we are sleeping on him a little bit in the moment just because of, well, the player that we're losing. The sadness of not being able to watch Myles in Cleveland anymore. But this is the full trade details being leaked by Schefter again, too, here. It is officially what I reported, guys. It is that 2027 first, 28 second, 29 third, and Jared Verse coming to Cleveland. I mean, get all your thoughts in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. Ian says, this sucks. Well, that's part of my point, too, though. Clearly, Myles wanted out in some way, shape, or form. Clearly, Andrew Berry telling us they're not trading Myles, not true. The fact that you would accept this offer without pushing for multiple firsts, it shows they were open to trading Myles all along. That's why they did their contract restructure, and everybody said it. Stop talking about it. They told me stop talking about it. Well, guess what? Guess what the story is now? Myles Garrett to L.A., Jared Verse to Cleveland, and all of a sudden, the Browns enter a new era in Cleveland without Big 95, the greatest defensive player I've ever had the joy of watching, and maybe even ever the greatest defensive player ever, I would say. Lifelong Browns fan, this will be okay, says Chief Jerome. Hey, I appreciate the positive. You know, tomorrow I'll probably feel a lot better, but right now in the moment it is hard to endure this factoid of Myles Garrett being traded. Rose says, I'm not denying Verse is a good player, but picks turned out to be a crap trade. Good Lord. I feel you. Suplex is saying, you guys got to chill, though. Versus a 25-year-old stud. It's not bad. I get it. That's what I'm saying. I think we are underrating Jared Verse. but it's only because of who we're giving up in the moment. Shout out to Moan Wisdom. What do you guys think? Do you guys feel betrayed by the trade? Be honest with me. Do you feel like the Browns betrayed you, telling us they were not going to do this? Do you feel betrayed by Myles at all? What are your emotions here in the comment section? Let me know, yes or no. Yes or no. How do you feel about the Browns telling us they won't trade Myles, and then they turn around and do it the first day that they can? June 1st, folks. The first day that they can. Let me know in the chat right now. All right. More super chats. Let's get more of these on the screen. Shout out to all you guys. Play-by-play with Noah. Not even another first. Not even 2 seconds. Noah, I hear you. I can't believe it. I'm honestly in shock that we didn't get at least 2 seconds, at least 2 firsts. Now, again, Jared Verse is, what would Jared Verse have gone for in trade, you got to think of, right? He himself is worth at least a first-round pick and maybe more. So that's where the deal adds up. But when you tell us that Garrett is not on the market, he is not tradable, it should have taken the best offer you can. It should have taken an overpay, quite frankly. And I don't get the sense that this is what that is at all. Shout out Rose for the $5 super chat. Me. You said Garrett would stay in Cleveland. Andrew Berry. I lied, as I have from the very beginning. Awful draft haul, too. Oh, this is what I was going to say. Andrew Berry on the hot seat now. If the Browns have a bad season next year, we're cleaning house. Todd Monken might be one and done, for all we know. I mean, if you're that bad next year, goodbye. Because and that'll really depend on quarterback play, right? Hopefully, Shedeur can be our guy. If the Browns decide they need to trade up in 2027 to get their franchise quarterback, they might want a new coach to pick that QB. I don't know. The point is, if this bites the Browns, I can't make any more excuses for Andrew Berry being the GM. Jared Verse better have 20 sacks next year. That's a good point, Pac-Man. Jared Verse better be what everybody's telling us he is, and he's only 25, so let's see. We got Dalmone Wisdom here. What's going on? Thank you so much for the $10 super chat, my friend. He wanted to be out so he could stop getting those speeding tickets in Cleveland. Well, that L.A. traffic's not good, Mr. Wisdom. I'll tell you that. All right, he might come back here when he needs his fix here on the road. But the Browns have 11 picks in the 2027 draft now, including their own 1 through 5, a first-rounder from the Rams, a 4th from the Giants, a 4th from Seattle, a 5th from the Texans. They have loaded up in 2027. Ian says, I'm disgusted. Malik says, something else got to be brewing. I don't understand the haul. I get you, man. I get you. Ian Rapoport telling us it is officially agreed to. So Andrew Berry said, it's not done yet. It's not finalized. We're still working some things out. They worked it out while he's playing golf. Browns are trading Myles Garrett to the Rams for Jared Verse, a 2027 first, a 2028 second, and a 2029 third. This is official now. What I reported at the start of the live, it is officially confirmed and agreed to, everybody. It's final. It's real. Did anybody think we would be doing this today? Did anybody think it? It's funny you bring up Micah Parsons, Rose. I did have a stat here on Jared Verse. So Jared Verse, who was the Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2024, has 99 pressures since entering the league. Only Micah Parsons and Myles Garrett have more over that span per ESPN research. So, are we getting the next Micah Rose? Is that what you're saying? I hope so. At only 25 years old, I mean, he's a player that seemed untouchable as well. And the Rams are just going all in. I can't believe we're going to watch Myles in a Rams uniform next year, guys. When I get that, when we see that first highlight of Garrett getting a sack for the Rams, that's going to break me. That's going to break me if we're not having a good season. The official news here of the trade compensation, everybody. Shout out all y'all tuning in to the live right now. More super chats coming in, too. No Man Space, appreciate that. Hey, that is a great point, man. We will get those super chats on the screen as well. That's right, me bird. Let's not act like versus a scrub, right? We can't act like that. Oh, now this is coming out. Patriots and Eagles, deep discussions on an A.J. Brown trade today. There you go. Shout out to Anu for the $2 super chat. Sauce Gardner got 2 freaking first-round picks. Sauce Gardner. We're talking about Myles Garrett, for crying out loud. It hurts, Anu. It hurts. I think what we need, Browns fans, what the Browns fans we need to see Jared Verse in action, because when we get to the season, everybody's going to be people will be more excited about Jared Verse when they see how good he is. But right now, in the moment, to only have 1 first-round pick coming back to you, it doesn't feel great for Myles Garrett. Rose with a 2. Rose is helping us up, though, saying, hey, it's Micah Parsons 2.0, Jared Verse, okay? That's what you're talking about. Oh. No, Rose says, no, I'm saying this is what the Micah Parsons trade felt like from the Cowboys' perspective. Yeah, although I think that one was honestly worse feeling for Cowboys fans if I remember. Right? What was that deal? Kenny Clark in a first. Oh, they got 2 firsts at least, though, right? For Micah? Yeah, okay. You're right then, Rose. This is ridiculous. Jared Verse, a first, a second, and a third. It's actually BS. It's actually ridiculous we didn't get multiple firsts for Myles Garrett. I thought it started with 3 firsts. I thought it started with 3 firsts, otherwise it's 2 and a player. But no. It's not that. It's 1 first, Verse, a second, and a third. By the way, the second and the third aren't even next year. It's 2028 and 2029 third-round pick. Servant says we got wrecked. Now I'm kind of pissed off looking at this again. I would have just kept Myles. Jack Jackson says we're fleeced. Ian says we lost the trade. I'm crying. Now, Adrenaline brings up an interesting point, though. You know, it's definitely heartbreaking, but we weren't winning with him. And this is an all-time high for Myles Garrett's trade value. It wasn't getting higher than it is right now. And he had a record-breaking season last year. And we won 5 games. 5 games. He sacked Drake May 5 times in a game, and we got blown out. He sacked Lamar 4 times, and we got blown out. I imagine Myles is frustrated. I imagine Garrett is a large part of this because, again, Myles had a no-trade clause, so he has to approve any trade that happens. He signed off on this. He said, yeah, I want to go to L.A., live in L.A. and contend for a Super Bowl. So as much as we can call the Browns idiots for this move, which there's definitely some element to that, there also is the fact of the matter that maybe Myles was unhappy behind the scenes. Remember when Myles posted on his Instagram story, the day Todd Monken got hired, Myles posted on his Instagram story a meme of someone looking exhausted. And he loved Jim Schwartz. They had a great relationship. And what happened, the way it ended with Jim Schwartz was ugly. My diehard Browns fans watching right now, you guys remember that. The way it ended with Jim Schwartz was ugly. It wasn't like, hey, didn't get the head coaching job. Jim Schwartz is under contract to be our DC in 2026, if you don't remember. He is sitting out of that contract. Jim Schwartz stormed out of the building and cleaned his office because he didn't get the head coach job. So I think Myles, a little upset that his DC's not here anymore. And part of this is, well, Cleveland maybe had to navigate that, the frustrated superstar. We actually do have that picture, it looks like, of Myles' Instagram story. This was it. This is what he posted the day Todd Monken got hired. This was Myles' Instagram story. So think about it. I think part of this could also have been Myles. Myles said the one thing he needs to do right now is win a ring. And Andrew Berry got the call, got a haul that he liked, I guess. This is what I don't like about Andrew Berry trades sometimes. They're too analytical. Does that add up? Probably in an analytical sense. Yes, that makes sense. Jared Verse and a first and a second and a third for Myles Garrett. If you run that into the Browns' analytical system, that probably adds up. But this is football we're talking about. This is Myles Garrett we're talking about. I don't care what the analytics say. You get multiple firsts or I'm out. And they did not do that. Now, again, Jared Verse, what does he go for in a trade? He probably is worth at least a first, maybe 2 firsts even. I'll talk to my Rams guy here. Let me know what he thinks. But maybe effectively it is 3 firsts for Myles when you add up the value of everything the Browns are getting here. But on face value, I wanted at least just 2 firsts straight up here and Jared Verse. We did not get that. Rose, wait, is that that's the old one. Yeah, that's the old one. Was there another one from Rose? I think he did that one already. The 10 from Rose. You've got a couple others to hit, though. Pebble Hunter. His age is what makes the value go down. Also the money. It's a good point for Pebble. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Remember, if you guys have your opinions that you want on screen, send any super chat, and we'll get you up here. But Pebble Hunter saying age definitely makes it go down. Yeah, I mean, Myles is 30, right? But he did just have the best year of his career, you could argue. And you got to take on that big contract, but who cares about that when you're getting Myles Garrett? He's not even the highest paid edge anymore in the league. I imagine he'll want to be, though. Anu with the 5. Maybe this will turn into a Max Crosby situation and Garrett will come back. Also, that first-round pick will most likely be the 32nd pick. Dude, I didn't even mention that. That's also what pisses me off. The Rams are probably going to win the Super Bowl now. They're going to win the Super Bowl. It's the 32nd pick. It might as well be a second. And I think only thing I could think of is Cleveland is gearing up to make a massive trade up in 2027, coupling their first and this first to go up and get, I don't know, Arch Manning or C.J. Carr or Jeremiah Smith, because that class is loaded. But I can't justify this trade right now. I like Verse a lot as a player. I don't think the draft haul is enough for Myles Garrett for the player that he is, folks. And that's the truth. That's the fact of the matter of where we stand. All right, what else we got? A couple other supers here. Shout out to my guy Anu for the 5. Shout out Rose for the $2 super chat. Jose Ramirez for King of Cleveland. Well, yeah, I mean, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, Myles, Myles is out. Harden and Mitchell didn't get it done. Hopefully, Shedeur can be the King of Cleveland, Rose, one day. That's the only thing that can turn this season around. But we'll see. We'll see. That's true, Jay. Paying Jared a lot less than Myles, and he's 25. The Browns actually saved $8 million in cap space by doing this, too. Okay? Financially. Trade Sanders now, too, says Lone Wolf. I don't know that I'd do that. Zion with another good point here. Denzel Ward traded next. I mean, what are the Browns doing? Again, they're following the script of it's not a rebuild, it's a retool. That's what they tell us. So Andrew Berry wanted a player back. He wanted a good player back in return. And they got Jared Verse, who's 25 and was a defensive rookie of the year a year ago. And then you get a first, a second, and a third. Again, I don't get that it's back-to-back-to-back years. Like, these should probably be 2027 picks. I don't know. I mean, we were told it could be a Ricky Williams type trade. You know what the Ricky Williams trade was? The Saints traded their entire draft class. Their entire one. I mean, unreal. But Myles, unfortunately, not getting even close to that, it feels like. This is what it was, if anybody was curious. An entire draft class was sent for Ricky Williams. Okay? I just don't think we're doing justice to Myles Garrett with this trade. Which tells me that the Browns all along were down to trade Myles Garrett, and he wanted out secretly a little bit. Because if Myles Garrett was really untouchable, if he was really untradeable and off the market, it would have taken the greatest offer in NFL history. Okay? We gave up more for Deshaun Watson than we're getting for Myles. That is what pisses me off. Robert, I appreciate that with $2 super chat. That was kind of what I was saying earlier. Maybe Jared Verse is looked at as he would have been 2 firsts, and that's why you get this big haul. And that's why I said analytically this probably adds up as a trade. But I'm done with the analytics. Should have just been multiple firsts. Robert with the 2. This fits the Browns' plans for the future well, though. I guess it depends how optimistic you were about the Browns' 2026 season. I actually thought they had a chance next year in the sense that they made the right additions on offense in the offseason, and you just keep the defense the same. Losing Myles is a major blow to the defense. But maybe Andrew Berry thought, and he said this in the offseason, we're a year or 2 away from competing. If that's the case, trading Myles is the right move given his age and the trade values at an all-time high right now. Robert with another 2, though. He said this one fits the Browns' plans for the future. And then he also said, just waiting on it to come in. All right, cool. Shout out all the super chats coming in right now. 9 likes away from 100 likes as well. Adam Schefter with another tweet about Myles right here. Yeah, that's right. No trade clause. He is waiving it to be traded to the Rams. And he will keep that same clause in his new Rams contract. Here we go. Robert says, also Jared is 2 firsts, so 3 firsts and a second and a third. Again, analytically, as Cavs head coach Kenny Atkinson would say, it makes sense. It adds up if you're looking at charts from a value standpoint, it makes sense. You just can't put into words and numbers the impact Myles Garrett has, though. I mean, the Rams are the Super Bowl favorite now. Joshua Miller with a $2 super chat. I like this question. Should we use the cap savings on Joey Bosa? Hey, that cap savings, that's enough to sign Cameron Jordan or Joey Bosa or Hassan Reddick. There's a lot of good edge rushers out there, and I think we need to bring one in, Joshua Miller. I do love Jared Verse as a player that will be young and balling in Cleveland, but I would absolutely want to add a vet to that room. Something interesting, too. Todd Monken said it's no guarantee. He said he was not told that Myles would be on this roster. And there you go. He's not. Madden King with a 2. Browns is the worst sport organization of all time. Thanks for that, Madden King. I hear your frustrations. Thanks for the 2. Aaron Collins. Myles is definitely voting for Spencer Pratt. What does that mean? What do you figure that means, Ethan? I'm not sure, but thank you for the $2 super chat. Aaron Collins. Go Spurs, am I right? AFX with the $2 super chat. He says, I hate my life. I feel you, AFX. All Browns fans. Immediate reaction. Everybody in the office, literally, they were asking me, they're like, dude, are you upset? They could tell. I'm usually walking around, smile on my face, but I wear my emotions on my sleeves, I suppose, because I was pretty in my feels writing this show, having to come on here and talk about what we're talking about right now. Dak Creator with a 2. Herschel Walker type situation with no output. Yeah, that's another good name to throw out there. I mean, we talked about the Ricky Williams trade. Herschel Walker one probably makes even more sense, to be honest. Yeah, I just do think that Cleveland probably could have got multiple firsts, and they did not. Jared Verse, you could argue, is worth multiple firsts. I'll talk to my Rams guy here, but analytically, it adds up. I'm going to message him right now, actually, as we got that Schefter update I was telling you guys about. You can read that one, Ethan. I'll message Durham. Got producer Ethan on the ones and twos today with us, everybody.
Yo. There we go. Oh,
Is that working?
here we go. We're good? All right. So, essentially, in this Myles Garrett trade, Myles Garrett this is according to Adam Schefter, by the way. Myles Garrett is the rare player who had a no-trade clause in his contract. He is waiving it to be traded to Los Angeles per sources, and he will keep the same clause in his Rams contract. So, essentially, he's really just getting out of Cleveland. He didn't have to if he didn't want to. He could have stayed. Myles Garrett chose to. He signed off to go to the LA Rams, to switch conferences, to switch divisions, to go to a whole new state where there's a lot of state income tax. It's not about money anymore. It's not about stability anymore. This man wants to win Super Bowls, and he doesn't think he can do that in Cleveland.
Listen, he got paid. Right? Myles requested a trade last year, guys. Are you surprised that Myles would be part of this? Again, this is something I'm reporting here. This isn't no reporter has come out and said Myles had requested a trade or anything behind the scenes. But read between the lines, because that's what we had to do to foresee this Garrett trade coming. Nobody thought it'd be possible. Shout out to everybody sending in the super chats right now. You guys are awesome. But Myles waived the no-trade clause. He says, yeah, I want to go to L.A. Now he's going to go play in some more weather. He told us he has one goal for this year. He said this on Michael Parsons' podcast. He says, I want to win Super Bowl and Super Bowl MVP. He's got a real chance to do that in L.A., I'm not going to lie. AFX with $2 super chat says, what's the full trade details? We have that, actually, for you here on our very own graphic at Chat Sports. Jared Verse to Cleveland, as well as the Rams' 2027 first-round pick, a 2028 second, and a 2029 third in exchange for Myles Garrett. Someone brought up a good point, though. What is this Rams first going to be? The 32nd pick? Might as well be a second-round pick. That's what pisses me off. And Jared Verse is a fantastic young player. He's a guy that was, untouchable, it seemed like, from the Rams' perspective as well. But I just think when you talk about Myles Garrett, it's impossible to try and justify it when you don't see multiple first on that screen right now. Is this from Dustin Jordan today? Yeah, shout out Dustin Jordan with a $10 super chat. Let's go. You know what'll be funny is if we actually go to the Super Bowl and the Rams don't. I believe our wide receiver room is going to take us especially with awesome offensive line. Well, Dustin, I really appreciate the positivity, the optimism. I'm not there right now, to be honest. I'm a little crushed on the inside. I'm going to go home and watch Myles Garrett Browns highlights tonight. That's what I'm looking up. But as you guys know that watch my show, I have been positive about the Browns' upcoming season. I love the additions they made on the offensive line and the wide receiver room. They crushed the draft. All of a sudden, though, I was anticipating Myles was part of this next year. We'll see how this affects the defense, putting in Verse instead of Myles. Joshua Miller, go to 2. Maybe Myles will fail his physical and come back. Hey, that's a great point. What if this is a Max Crosby situation? What if Myles, because again, it's been agreed to, it can't happen till, what is it right now on the East Coast, 2:49 p.m.? It can't happen till 4 p.m. Eastern on the East Coast. So we're not there yet, but it is agreed to according to all the insiders. Cats are cool with a $5 super chat. This sucks. AB and Browns really pulled the wool over our eyes. This is disappointing, disgusting, and a full betrayal. So Cats Are Cool does feel betrayed. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Cats Are Cool. Listen, I absolutely understand where everybody's coming from right now. If you want your opinion heard and put on the screen, send in a super chat, and we will automatically put that on the screen. All right, just like Christine here. Shout out Christine for the $5 super chat. Much love to you, Christine. We appreciate you. Charles Elkins in the building. Charles, we need you, brother. We need you, brother. This is an unbelievable turn of events, Charles. We need you in here too, man. All right, we got BA with a 2. Deshaun Watson trade gets worse all the time. That's the other thing. Why are we in this mess? Why do we need to trade Myles? Probably because a lot of the setbacks come from the trade that Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam already made years ago to get Deshaun Watson for 3 firsts. Oh, by the way, he's the favorite to start this year. If you couldn't feel worse today, just so you know. But shout out BA for that $2 super chat. Christine with the 5. After the Cavs, I never want to hear that word analytically again. Why are all Cleveland teams obsessed with analytics? Can we just focus on football and basketball and get football guys in the building? Todd Monken's a football guy. He doesn't have to do with these decisions, really. I mean, he has input, but he cares about the offense. And what he literally told us, Miles, Todd Monken said today at his golf tournament, what Monken said today was, I was not guaranteed Myles would be on the roster. He just signed a contract. It wasn't like Monken's like, I'm only coming here if wasn't a thing. Brown said, we're going to do what we do with Myles. Will you come here and coach this football team and this offense? And he said yes. So there you go. Shout out Christine with the $5 super chat. Also Charles with a $10 super chat. Shout out my guy Charles Elkins. Mic drop. Appreciate you so much, my friend. Sending in that 10. More supers flying in. Appreciate you guys all so much here. As this is an unbelievable day. This is a day like no other in Browns franchise history, in NFL history. Is this the best player, the best non-quarterback to be traded ever? I mean, this is unprecedented here, folks, that we're having this conversation on June 1st right now. On June 1st. Shout out my guy Charles for the $10 super chat. Duffy with a 2. Don't forget, Myles Garrett's girlfriend is in SoCal. I did forget. That is another great point. Chloe Kim, right? Yeah. This is just, I understand. Listen, I understand it from Myles' perspective. I'm not going to lie. I'm not mad at Myles at the moment, even if it is secretly his doing behind the scenes, because he wanted out last year. He publicly requested the trade, and his goal is to win. And it's got to be frustrating when you are breaking records, when you are shattering NFL records and winning Defensive Player of the Year, and your team blows. Like, this is what happened last year. He had 5 wins, despite Myles having 23 sacks. Like I said, he sacked Drake May 5 times in a game, and we got blown out. And you got to deal with Flacco and Gabriel last year. Like, I understand it's frustrating, and you have an automatic chance to go win a Super Bowl by joining the Rams and living in L.A. Like, of course he's going to waive the no-trade clause for that. Despite how decent the Browns could have been next year, the Rams are in a Super Bowl window with Matt Stafford on a 1 to 2 year deal, really. AFX with the 2. What does this mean for Denzel Ward? Will he be traded? AFX, that's a fantastic question. And here's how I'll answer that for you. If the Browns are entering a full rebuild right now, I would say Denzel Ward is gone. And that is absolutely correct. I don't see them entering a rebuild. I do think this is on the table now, though, showing that if it's a similar type of deal, I think the Browns would want a player back that can start at corner and draft picks for Denzel Ward. That is why they made this deal. You got a young player who is an immediate impact starter to replace Myles, and multiple draft picks, a first, a second, and a third. That is what I think you would see if this meant anything for Denzel Ward. But I don't think the Browns are trying to trade him. No. No, they Ward's not there, I'll be honest, though. He's not been showed up at OTAs yet, but I'll let you know if any of that fire starts heating up. But as they say, where there's smoke, there's fire. There was a lot of smoke the last 2 days about Myles Garrett. That's why I was making videos on it. And all of a sudden, he's traded. Joshua Miller with the 2. What is the financial impact of Verse on the roster? That's a great question here from Joshua Miller. It looks like Ethan's cooking something up here. But basically, Jared Verse is going to bring a 2-year, $5 million fully guaranteed contract. That's fantastic, actually. That is nothing. 2-year, $5 million, and a 5th-year option for the 2028 season. He becomes extension eligible at the end of the 2026 regular season and is on pace to secure a top-of-the-market edge contract. Makes sense because he's been absolutely balling too. Again, I think we are underestimating how good Jared Verse is because we are feeling the feels of losing the best player I've had the privilege to watch here in Cleveland ever. I wasn't around for Jim Brown. I don't think anybody was around for Jim Brown in this chat. Maybe I'm underestimating the age of some folks in here, and you don't have to date yourself if you don't want to. But Myles is the greatest thing I've seen in Cleveland. And he's gone. And he's gone now. And that's why we're feeling it. Just a girl says Jared Verse has not been balling. Rose says, I like Verse. The picks made it worse. Well, given that NFL Insider is telling us that Verse is in line for top of the market money, clearly the NFL valued him super highly. So we shall see how that produces on the field. But here's what I was talking about, Joshua Miller. The contract implications, it's only 2 years, $5 million fully guaranteed, okay, to get Jared Verse in Cleveland. And you get a fifth-year option on him. So the Browns, essentially what they've done in this trade is get a young replacement for Myles. Obviously, he's not as good as Myles, but they also get a first, a second, and a third. I think the draft pick haul could have been better. But I'll tell you right now, teams across the league, they value Jared Verse at that high as at least a first, maybe two, if he were to ever have been dealt anyways. Brad, the number one Browns fan, with a $5 super chat. This is the stupidest move ever. Where is the 3 first-round picks? This team sucks. See, that's what I was saying too, Brad. I thought we'd start with 3 firsts here and go from there. I don't understand how there's only 1 first-round pick in a deal. Honestly, the Browns shouldn't have been willing to do this. That's why it makes me think either they're dumb or Myles said secretly he is out. And he wants out again. He just doesn't want to do it publicly again because of all the backlash that he got last year after wanting out and then re-signing the massive contract. Like, I think behind the scenes here, Myles was just a little frustrated and he wants to go win a ring. He's publicly said that this year at the very least. Paragon with the 2. How do we picture Mason Graham performing now? Hopefully better. I hear a lot of mixed reviews on Mason Graham. I think Mason Graham is a run stuffer that doesn't show up on the stat sheet a lot. They want him to get to the quarterback a little bit more, but you also saw it when Malik Collins went out. Run defense was terrible, especially in that Titans game. So this is definitely going to affect the D-line. Like, that's an understatement, affect the D-line, right? This is what Myles does for the defense cannot be understated. How he frees it up for other folks. How he breaks NFL records. But again, we didn't win games. Even with Myles, one playoff win in Myles' career as a Cleveland Brown. That's kind of crazy. And you could imagine how frustrating that is. I mean, the guy has been in the league since 2017. He showed he's the best player in the league, and you got to suffer through 5-win seasons, 3-win season the year before that. He's out. And then the Browns, and look, the Browns made the right move not hiring Jim Schwartz, but the Browns then don't try to appease Myles in that sense. The writing was on the wall. They were going to trade him eventually. They liked the haul they got. I think we should have got more, but whatever. I'm not a GM. Rose with 5. Screw SoCal. Screw the West Coast. Tupac, AB, we're so close to one of the best Browns off seasons ever. We were so close, Rose. We were so dang close, and now we're having this conversation today. Leland Smith with the 2. Did Garrett really say, I won't play with Watson? I didn't hear that. I heard him actually support Watson publicly, and he played with Watson before. But, again, Myles has opinions on the decisions. I'll say this. Myles Garrett has his opinions on the decisions that they make, the Browns front office. And Myles, he went to the podium last year, and he said about the starting quarterback job, that's not up to me. I don't care. He says, I have my opinions. I'm not going to say them out loud. Myles is itching to win. And he's getting the sense that Cleveland is not making the right moves to do that. So, that is why Myles' frustration is on display here. Shout out, Super Chats coming in. Everybody's hanging out with us, feeling these emotions. We got HGP. Appreciate you for the Guatemalan currency. Now, I somehow have to believe Verse will get 15-plus sacks next year just so I could sleep at night. That's what it is, HGP. That's what it is. All right, got something from Jeremy Fowler here, NFL Insider, for you guys. Browns' desire for a young ascending pass rusher shrunk their candidate pool. Per a team source, you don't have to build this, I was just saying. Per a team source, this was a Rams-specific deal because the Rams hounded Cleveland. That we do have built, right? That the Rams were persistent. The one I sent you. The Rams apparently were not going away, bugging the Browns. Myles Garrett did not request a trade, similar to last offseason. Team made the deal because of trade value. That doesn't make sense to me because the trade value could have been much better. Don't sense this as a fire sale. Was told a hard no on Denzel Ward's availability. Okay, we were told a hard no on Myles Garrett's availability. So what do you make of that, Jeremy? Daniel Yafusi says the Rams refused to give up. One source called their persistent pursuit of Myles Garrett. Los Angeles, according to sources, continued calling, and the only team that tried to pry loose a player the Browns once demanded untouchable. So this is what happened, folks. The Browns were being hounded by the Rams. They kept calling and calling and calling. But if this is true, the trade haul should have been greater. That's what doesn't add up to me. You're telling me they were that desperate for Myles and you could only get one first? I smell something fishy here. I do. I don't trust the insiders anymore. I don't trust them because we were told the Browns were not trading Myles no matter what. Okay? Just a girl said, you better block him like an ex-boyfriend that doesn't quit. That's what they should have done. Rose with the $5 super chat. We still have a great defense. Ward, Schlesinger, Graham, Quincy Williams. But that trade definitely hurts it. You know, that's a good point, Rose. Like I've said, in a day or two, probably a week or two, I will be more excited about Jared Verse in Cleveland. I will. I'm going to watch the film on him. I'm going to be you guys know how this works. You're going to see Twitter highlights of Jared Verse everywhere, and everybody's going to be excited that Jared Verse is a Cleveland Brown. I get it. But right now, the story is Myles Garrett is no longer a Cleveland Brown. So that's why the emotions here are the way that they are in Cleveland, in my chat of Browns fans right now. It's the greatest player I've had the privilege to watch in the brown and orange. And he's gone. And we were told he's a career Brown. We're told he's not going anywhere. We were hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray. Myles is going to be wearing that. Dude, when I see Myles put in the Rams jersey, I'm sick. I'm sick about it. What else we got people saying in here? Sleazeball says, do we run a 3-4? No, I think they'll stick with the 4-3. They'll just play Verse where Myles was, in my opinion. Disaster says it's BS, right? Nice telling us they lied. That's what I'm saying. We were lied to. We were lied to. CGC says, I bet it was finalized weeks ago. You know, that's the other thing that Tony Rizzo said today was the deal has been done. The deal was in place for a while. Turns out that's all true because the Browns are trading Myles Garrett to the Rams. And so it's going to be a lot different next year, okay, in that room without Myles. It's going to be a lot of – I'm also surprised they didn't draft an edge, too, to be honest. Shout out, more Super Chats coming in. Bring back Chubb. That's a fun username with a 5. So, yeah, that's, you know, the defensive line room right now. There you go. Jared Verse is in there instead of Myles. That's what it's looking like, folks, all right? And listen, the Browns signed a bunch of UDFAs, okay? Now Mike Hall's hurt, too. I mean, Seems like that's not a serious injury, they say, but I don't know. Mike Hall's always hurt, it feels like, very, very sadly. So, will Cleveland go out and sign a free agent edge? I hope so. But at the moment, you've got to deal with this picture, folks. Myles Garrett is a member of the Los Angeles Rams. I'm shocked. I really am. I really am. Shout out. More Super Chats coming in. Okay? If those keep rolling in, we'll keep hanging out and staying live with you guys. Because there's a lot to be said. There's a lot of emotions to feel here about the breaking news. Did anybody think we were getting this today? Did you think Myles was getting traded today, Ethan? No. No, absolutely not. Bring back Chubb with the $5 Super Chat. The first we got is basically going to be a second. The Rams have a super team and are going to the Super Bowl, especially if Donald comes back. Well, Aaron Donald's probably not coming back, but this is ridiculous. Bring back Chubb. Thank you for the 5, man. I hear you. Somebody pointed that out, and I clicked. I was like, wait a second. It's the Rams' first-round pick. It's going to be pick 32. It's ridiculous. That is the ridiculous part. We didn't get a high first for Myles Garrett. Unreal. And that almost might be why Barry got a 2028 second and 2029 third, thinking those picks might be better because the Rams are doing the thing that they did the last time they won the Super Bowl, which is go all in, F them picks, be good, then bad, then really good. That's what they do. And that's what they're doing. Aaron with a $5 Super Chat. Let's go. Let's get all our supers up. Appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Okay, they're just loading. Cool. Well, what is this here, Ethan? What is this here?
This is basically oh, we good?
Yeah.
There we go. This is basically just like the Rams' own first-round picks, just showing that like they don't really use their own first-round picks. And whenever they did, I mean, now Jared Verse is a Cleveland Brown.
Yeah.
So.
That is pretty funny. See, I told they're F them picks. That's what they do.
And now the 2027 pick is going to the Browns. So.
Wow. And they won a Super Bowl in this time frame, and, well, they're on pace to go to another now with Myles Garrett. Eric Collins, the difference is that Denzel actually wants to be in Cleveland. You know, that's a great point from Eric Collins here. Thank you for the $5 Super Chat, my friend. Denzel Ward, he's honestly my favorite person. Like, I love Denzel Ward. If you guys listen to Denzel Ward talk, his press conferences, he's just got such good energy, such good vibe, and he's just that good at football as well. Obviously, he's some injury concerns sometimes with Denzel Ward, but he, to me, when he's healthy, is a top 3 corner in the league, and I think he's been the best corner in the league at multiple points in his career. So he wants to be in Cleveland. That's good to me. Myles is at a point where, and they're the same age, but Myles is at a point where he is frustrated, requested out last year, asked to be traded. He's officially traded. I can't believe it's actually real, by the way. Like, I feel like we're just – it hasn't sunk in yet, but he actually is getting traded to the Rams. I'm shocked. Dr. Checkmate with the 2. Why? Not even a Browns fan, and I'm mystified. So I got people that aren't even Browns fans coming in and saying, what's going on? I'm like, what? That is how massive this story is. Okay, Oyafusi's got something for me, too, as well here. Let me read this out for you guys. He says, Garrett might not have requested a trade, but he obviously was open to new scenery. Even after the 25 extension, an air of uncertainty lingered over the relationship. His commitment to Cleveland was always contingent on the franchise's commitment to winning. Passing over Jim Schwartz for head coach did not help matters. That's what I reported to you guys. Myles said it publicly. The Browns lied to us. He did not lie to us. He said, I stayed because they told me they're committed to winning and they have a plan. We didn't win last year. Stefanski sucked. And Garrett's like, all right, I think I'm ready to waive the no-trade clause if you get a good deal here. And they did. They got a deal they liked. With Jared Verse and a first, a second, and a third. Different years, by the way. But this is it. And this is kind of what we knew, all right? I mean, if you read between the lines here, you'd see. Myles and Monken did not meet face to face. They restructured Garrett's contract quietly so that it was tradable. Myles liked Jim Schwartz, wanted him to be head coach. That didn't happen, and that wouldn't have been the right move. Okay, we needed an offensive guy. But I wonder, if Jim Schwartz is head coach right now, would we still have Myles and Jim? Probably wouldn't be a great team next year, though, but still. Todd Monken needed to come in here to revamp the offense, and that is what we've done, is draft all offense. That wouldn't have been the case with Jim Schwartz. Then, the Browns love to keep their trades all secret. Okay? And that's what you got. Secrets, secrets, and secrets. Did we get all supers? I think there's a couple more. Did we? Oh, okay. We might have gotten them. You might have got it, actually. All right, sweet. Like I said, guys, if you want to be on screen, share your opinion, send in a super chat. Appreciate everybody coming in, hanging out with us today on a news day that, well, shocks all of us and shocks the world here. All right, it really did. Sweetie T with the 5. Appreciate you, Sweetie T. I can't believe this is real. I can't believe this is real, to be honest with you guys. I really can't. Myles Garrett traded to the Rams. Everybody thought it was just rumors, it's just speculation. No, it's real. It's happening. It's happening. Nye says, well, it is what it is. Is what it is. We just traded Myles Garrett. Unbelievable. Scotty says, hey, think about it. Don't have to pay for an extension. I mean, he's definitely going to want to be paid by the Rams. Dr. Checkmate thinks it's going to be the Browns are now in contention to get the number 1 overall pick. I swear. I don't want to see any hint of tanking. That's the problem. Even though it'd probably be smart to get a high draft pick next year, I'm not settling for that. Browns have a really good young team, but you just threw a wrench in it with the Myles off the defense. We'll see how Jared Verse plays in Cleveland, but Sweet T says Cleveland's looking for a quarterback and have no clue what you'll get next year. Manning didn't play well until the end. Defense just took a step back. There you go. Sweetie T, shout out to you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you as always. I think that's what it is. Just Cleveland wants their franchise quarterback next year. Also, Jimmy Haslam loves Arch Manning. I don't think Arch is the guy yet. I need to see Arch have a ridiculous season next year because he did not start the season well at all last year. Like, Arch is just the guy you say because it's the first name that comes to your head when you talk about that class next year. I'm not sold Arch is the guy yet. But either way, this class will be loaded with quarterbacks in 2027. And so Cleveland wanted extra picks in there. But that's why I can't believe we only got 1 pick in next year's draft. We get 1 first from the Rams next year. And it's going to be pick 32. That's what I don't get. I actually can't explain why they made this trade. I can't. It's the same sort of model that the Browns have made all offseason long, which is what? We're not rebuilding, we're retooling. We're still getting a good young player, but we're a year or 2 away from competing. That's the moral of the story. If you didn't get anything from this live until now, that's what you need to know about Andrew Berry and what the Browns are trying to do. Because Andrew Berry said at the Combine, we're a year or 2 away from being aggressive in free agency and competing. So that's exactly what this trade is. Get a young defensive pass rusher who's really good, a first next year, a second the year after that, a third the year after that, and you're saying bye to Myles, who unfortunately didn't lead the Browns to wins the past 2 years despite his literal greatness. Apparently it didn't lead to wins because of how bad the offense was with Stefanski. TDF with a 2. Imagine if Aaron Donald comes back. If Aaron Donald comes back, it's over. Just give them the ring now. Why would we even play the season if Aaron Donald came back? I mean, this is getting ridiculous here. There's F them picks. The Rams are Super Bowl favorites right now if you looked at the updated odds. Bring back Chubb with the 2. You think this trade will eventually be a win? No. No, I think it will eventually. I mean, in a few years, bring back Chubb. The Browns will be competitive soon. They have young players. They're actually good at drafting all of a sudden. I do think down the road, Cleveland will be competing soon. But it's not going to be a win next year in the short term. This is going to hurt our 2026 season. I'll just be honest with you. Mike with a $5 super chat. It was a pleasure watching your streams, but I'm going to go root for my hometown, Seattle Seahawks. Thank you for the memories. Mike, I appreciate you. Ethan's cracking up back there. Appreciate you for the $5 super chat, man, and thanks for tuning in. But I know you got to do what you got to do, man. Thanks for being a Browns fan all this time. Listen, I'm going to be a Browns fan for life. I'm not going anywhere. I'm never going to stop being a Browns fan. It's in my blood. I was born into it, and I'm a diehard Browns fan. We Cleveland fans, we're passionate. No matter how much they stab us here in Cleveland, I'm still going to show up and root for the team. And one day I have faith that it'll be a good team. Hopefully there's a Super Bowl in my lifetime, and hopefully there's a Super Bowl in all your guys' lifetime for Cleveland Browns. But I understand this reaction, Mike. It's not one that I would ever do, but here we go. Thank you for the 5. Sweetie T with the 5 as well. Let's see if we can get. Hey, we're $24 away from 200 in super chats. If we get 24 more dollars here, and what do you think, Ethan? Should we crack open a beer if we get to 200?
I would say so. Yeah.
I think we gotta drink or do something here if we
pour one out for Myles Garrett.
We gotta pour one out for Myles, okay?
Yeah.
So if we get next $20 super chat, we'll pour one out for Myles here. Again? Oh yeah, true. Thank you, Mike. Though, listen, let me know, chat. Are you guys sticking around as Browns fans, or are you jumping ship? Let me know. Like I said, I'm a diehard fan for life, so not going anywhere. Sweetie T with the 5. I watched this team last year for 2 and Myles. So now he isn't traded and 2 might not start. Tell me why I should watch this year. Sweetie T, I hear you. Appreciate you for the 5. If those are your reasons for being a Browns fan is for Shador and Myles, you're probably not going to watch the start of the year, Sweetie T. But I will say I think Shador gets in this year for multiple reasons. Number one, Deshaun Watson has never been healthy for a full year in Cleveland. And I don't like to let me be clear. I never root for injuries. I don't. But I have evidence to expect another one for Watson, given that it's happened every year of his career, and now he's had 2 torn Achilles, and he's 30. Also, he might just be really bad because I also have evidence that Deshaun Watson was terrible in a Cleveland Browns uniform. So he might get benched for Shador. So if these are your reasons for rooting for the Browns, you will probably see Shador this year, given that if he's not the starter, he will be the backup. And backups usually get in Cleveland the past few years. So that's what I'll tell you, Sweetie T, from your perspective. From all our perspective here that have been Browns fans forever, feel like we're not going anywhere. Hopefully this thing pays off soon. All right, guys, let's give one other shout-out to Prize Picks here, and then it's up to you guys if you want to keep partying here on live with me. Let's talk about the app I can't get enough of. That is Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching sports. Playoff basketball is here, big golf tournaments. Baseball is underway if you're old school. And to make a Prize Picks lineup, you pick 2 to 6 players and select more or less on stat projections. That could be points, rebounds, assists, three-pointers, several others across all sports. If you're more of a baseball guy, you could choose hits, home runs, strikeouts. We got it all here. My lineup for the playoffs, the finals, is more on Jalen Brunson's free throws attempted, more on Karl Anthony Towns' three-pointers attempted, and Stephon Castle's been my favorite pick on Prize Picks. So I'm going to go more than 16.5 points for Stephon Castle. I like to pick his Goblin and pick more than 11.5 points because that works every game so far in the playoffs, but I think Castle will have a big game against New York. So if you guys want to make the same lineup, you can download the Prize Picks app. And new user offer, download the Prize Picks app today. Use code HMA. When you play your first $5 lineup, receive $50 in lineups. That is code HMA. When you play your first $5 lineup, get an extra $50 in lineups with Prize Picks. Clickable link to download the app is in the comments and description. All right, chat. Another super chat just came in from my guy, Miami Matt. Appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate you as we are gearing up here to wrap up this unbelievable breaking news edition of the Browns Report, folks. I'm genuinely shocked that we're here right now. Miami Mac with the $2. Thank you, my friend. He says, ... Speechless, Miami Mac. Speechless. How did this happen? Why did this happen? Why aren't there multiple first-round picks in the deal? Couldn't tell you. I'm not a GM. Just a fan who's upset about losing Myles right now, but hopefully one day this pans out and Jared Verse really does have 15 sacks next year. That's what I need to see, to be honest with you guys. I'm not kidding. And he's a young player. He's going to be really talented in this league, but can he fill the hole of Myles? Nobody can. So that 2027 first and Jared Verse better frickin' pan out, or this is going to go down as one of the worst trades in history next to the Watson one. Okay? That's where we're at. Dak Creator with the 5. Appreciate it. He says, you and Ethan need to swap roles someday. Enjoy the cold ones. Keep the stream going. We should sell the Browns to Mexico. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Bring back Chubb. Appreciate you with the 2. Listen, guys, I feel you. Oh, here we go. Swap roles. Keep the stream going. Shout out Dak Creator for hanging out with us, having some fun. Despite the crazy wave of news, we appreciate you so much for the $5 super chat, my friend. I'm honestly shocked. Ethan, I want to know your reaction too, man. If you want to pop on screen, haven't got to see your lovely face on the screen for the channel yet.
Yes. Give me 1 second to get fully set up, and I will be on there.
I would love your takeaway on this as well, because this is absolutely shocking. Came out of nowhere. And obviously you can see how the Browns fans are all feeling right now. I think you got 2 of me on.
Yeah.
But I think you can see how all the Browns fans are feeling right now. What was your reaction to this trade?
Yeah. My reaction is I love Myles Garrett. I do. But, again, it's a business at the end of the day. And as much as I hate to see a guy that has represented Cleveland at the top of his ability for when was he drafted? 2017?
2017, first
2017.
Overall, yep.
So that's coming up on a decade. Like that really hurts. That really hurts, and I hate to see that for any fan base. I mean, I was talking about this with a friend last night about the Luka Doncic trade. I grew up a Mavericks fan, and that killed me. I was completely disillusioned with the fan base. Like, honestly, I consider myself a fan for a different team now. And it sucks, but there's a silver lining to it in that I think Jared Verse is a very solid player. Our Rams host was telling us that his pressure rate is just insane.
Yeah.
And, that's never going to replace Myles Garrett. Nothing's ever going to replace Myles Garrett. And that's just the case of it. That is what it is, unfortunately. Yeah. We can't do anything about it today. So it sucks. Don't get me wrong. But I think there is potential. I do think you should have gotten more draft capital.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Like, a first that's probably going to be pick 30 or higher. A second that's probably going to be pick 60 or higher. And a third that's probably going to be in the 90s. Not a great look. You get Verse for probably 5 to 8 years. But edges can play up to, what age? Like, I don't even know what.
He's only 25.
Yeah.
Listen, I think that, and because the Rams were calling the Browns persistently, it feels like, I think the Browns got accustomed to Jared Verse, and they're like, oh, he's really good.
Yeah.
And they wanted him, and he's young, and it makes sense. I don't think the general Browns fan or the public knows, or the general Browns fan knows how good Jared Verse is. You know what? We weren't watching Rams football that much last year, but across the league, they value him as at least a first-round pick. He was a first-round pick. He might have been 2 firsts if he just got traded straight up. So the value sort of adds up. It's just tough to see right now, preseason, when we know what Myles can do and how he can break the single-season sack record. If you just look at Jared Verse stats, you don't see that. So we'll see. Also, I think I can never get a Browns jersey again. You want to know my Browns jerseys?
Yeah, I know you have a Baker Mayfield and you have a Myles Garrett, right?
I have a Myles Garrett Browns jersey.
You have a Shador, right?
Yeah, so
But the number changed.
Yeah, so I have Baker Mayfield Browns jersey. The year I got that, he was gone. I have a Nick Chubb Browns jersey. It's gone. I have Myles Garrett Browns jersey. That now does not apply.
Yep.
And I have a Shador 12 jersey.
Brutal.
I'm 0 for 4 right now. And I'm buying the most recent players. Chat, let me know what jerseys you got in the comment section. But my Myles Garrett jersey was the last piece of the puzzle here. At least Shador's still on the team. For now, I mean, we'll see. Bring back Chubb with a 2. How many more seasons do you think Garrett has? Oh, I mean, he just had his best season at 30, so he's got multiple left in him. I mean, at least 3. I'd say 3, maybe 5 even. They could stretch it to. Probably a little optimistic to say that, but I'd say 3 is a good baseline here.
I'd say 3 as like a top edge in the NFL, or I guess he plays more defensive end, really. But like you could probably have him for up to 7 more years.
Yeah.
He could probably have an Aaron Donald season where he's at the top of the NFL and he just retires because he's made his money. He doesn't want to get hit like that anymore.
Yeah. Listen, Myles going to have a good life. I'll say that. He's rich, living in L.A., and competing for a Super Bowl next year.
Dating an Olympian.
Yeah, dating an Olympian, all right?
Man, that kid is going to be a Cleveland Brown, though. Trust.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man, folks. Here we are. Danny says if he wins the Super Bowl, he's retiring. I don't think he would just now because, again, he's had a record-breaking season, but he definitely has a chance to win one next year, and they are the favorites over there. So that's where we're at.
NFC now looks like a gauntlet.
Oh, dude, it's ridiculous.
I feel like it's kind of shifted. It seemed like AFC was kind of the conference to beat a couple years ago, and now it's shifting back to the NFC with the Seahawks, Rams, Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, not yet.
On a serious note, 49ers, Eagles.
Yeah. I can't believe this is the news today, folks. So, well, I think we'll start to get ready to wrap up here. It has been a unbelievable edition of Browns Report breaking news live stream. This is what we do. This is why you subscribe if you are a Browns fan. When there's news like this, we're going to go live. We're going to make videos. I want you guys to be up to date. Also, I literally made a video this morning talking about Myles getting traded to the Rams. Okay, so I've got the scoops for you, the latest rumors. Hit the sub button so you do not miss out when Browns news happens, when trades break. I'm here for you guys. A lot of fans feeling it. I see you, FX. Lions for Lamb says, I'm done. I hear you. Back to the Browns. This will be officially official in about half an hour probably, but it has been agreed to, and this is the breaking news, everybody. I appreciate you all tuning in to our live edition of the Browns Report. This was unbelievable. Myles Garrett has been traded away to the Rams. I'll keep you posted on everything else the Browns do as we feel these emotions. Go watch some highlights tonight. Stay tuned. I'll have another video coming for you guys later, so subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate you all tuning in. I'm pretty speechless, but I'll get over it. I'm sure we all will. And let's go look at what Jared Verse can do. I'll go do some more research on him for you guys and let you know how good of a player he could be in Cleveland. But it is hard to replace that hole of Myles Garrett, and I really think we should have got multiple firsts for him. So that's the bottom line. Browns make this move. Rams were persistent. Andrew Berry trying to retool and rebuild at the same time, but also compete in a year or two. So let's see. But I appreciate you so much for tuning in, guys. Make sure you hit that sub button. I've been your host, Joey O'Donohue, and I'll see you next time here on the Browns Report Live.